With so many rideshare drivers being either carjacked or killed, we have to ask the question, why is it happening at this frequency? What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride-sharing video. And it comes with great sadness that we have to cover yet another story of another Lyft driver being murdered while on the job.
Trying to send their loved one back to his home country after he was shot and killed while working for a rideshare company.
New Orleans police have arrested his 19-year-old passenger as the suspected shooter. Andres Fuentes has the story.
Videos of Marvin Enrique Bardales Valle being himself, playing guitar and loving his family is all that his loved ones have left. The NOPD says Valle was shot and killed just after 2 in the morning on March 8th near an apartment complex on Morrison Road. He was working for Lyft at the time, and the police say he was shot by his passenger, 19-year-old Terrius Tully, who now faces a second-degree murder charge.
It's something so painful. We believe he was forced to drive at gunpoint to his location, and that's where he was shot and killed.
Isaac Bardales Lopez says his cousin's death has been hard to grasp, and what makes it more challenging, the cost to give him a proper burial more than 1,000 miles away in Honduras, his home country.
The total cost is going to be $12,500. That will be for a small funeral for family that are living here, and to send him over to Honduras will cost $7,900.
Loved ones say Valle's journey into the U.S. was in search of the American dream, but now his mother is heartbroken that her only son is one of the latest victims of New Orleans' gun violence.
Her wish right now is to see her dead son one last time. She always wanted him to come back, but not this way.
We took a look at the crime stats on the New Orleans City Council dashboard, and we saw that so far this year, the city has seen 49 fatal shootings. Compare that to this time last year, the city saw the same amount, 49 fatal shootings. We spoke with a Dillard University criminologist, Ashraf Ismail, about that trend and what the city can expect in the coming months.
We're just not seeing a decrease. It just started the new year the same way it ended last year. And we keep asking ourselves questions, more police. I don't think we ask all this, we want more. We want to be more staff so we get to the scenes quicker. But the question always is why we're seeing more homicide. Why are people firing? How do you stop that is the question. You just can't be really optimistic right now because you haven't been giving any reason to be optimistic.
Now, as family in New Orleans remember Valle for his love and his humor, they urge others to cherish the time you have with one another.
We need to show love. We need to show sincerity. We need to get together and show affection like it's the last party you're going to ever have. Because the day my cousin sat down here and we ate together, I didn't know that was going to be the last time I was going to see him.
A mother that always wanted her son to come home is going to get her wish with a son coming home that is now deceased. This is a sad story. So why does this seem to continue happening to rideshare drivers? It's very simple. We are easy victims. You're talking about an issue where if you are a criminal looking to carjack or rob someone, you can literally dial a victim, almost like a 1-800 dial a victim, so to speak. You open up the app and that victim will come to you no matter where you are in the country. I'm talking in the middle of the desert, standing next to a damn mountain, in the back of an alley somewhere, maybe in an industrial area that's been closed since Friday and it is Sunday. I'm just simply pointing out that we make very easy victims because it allows the criminal to lure us wherever they want us and literally stage the crime. We will show up wherever. So that definitely makes rideshare drivers easy victims. It also is why in many of my videos, I suggest discriminating and watching who and where you pick up individuals. If you enter an area and it looks shady, whereas there are towns in this country, Gary, Indiana, or places on the outskirts of Cleveland where whole neighborhoods have been shut down, or after a storm where all of the houses are rubble, Don't show up to that damn neighborhood to pick somebody up in the middle of the night. There's nothing out there. You shouldn't be either. But our ride-sharing companies allow a person to go to these areas and literally place a pointer on the app or on the map, and we have to come to that area. So if you're driving into an area in the middle of the night and there's nothing out there, no buildings, no structures, or everything is closed, you don't have to take that trip. Cancel the trip. Trust your instincts. Trust your instincts. Don't ignore red flags and things like that. Don't get yourself killed for 80, 90 cents per mile. So understand that. But nevertheless, in this case, once again, 19-year-old killer. I say it in all of my videos. Even though I'm African American, I have no qualms about suggesting that drivers discriminate when they feel their safety is at risk. A 19-year-old. They all seem to look like me for some damn reason. I really hate that. They all seem to be African Americans. But I'm not going to pretend like that's not happening so that I can accuse somebody of being intolerant or something like that. It is African Americans that are jacking and carjacking and killing drivers. That's who is doing this. The overwhelming majority of the stories I cover, the killer is black. The carjacker is black. The robbers are black. So why would I, in effort to give you solid factual information, provide you with what I think are the best tips to survive, overlook the obvious? Point that out to you. So understand you're picking up 2 or 3 folks in the middle of the night that look like me. That's probably a red flag if you're in some neighborhoods. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. But it's up to you. If you feel like it's safe, maybe it's somebody you've dealt with before, then so be it. But if your senses start going off, your instincts start going off, you pull into an apartment complex that's known for drama, leave those passengers there. It ain't worth risking your life for a fare that's probably less than $10. Do what is best for you to get home to your family. In the video, $12,000 burial cost that this gentleman was suggesting it's going to cost to send this guy back to his home country, to Honduras. They had a GoFundMe account, so the money has been raised. I am aware that that's already been done, so I won't post it here. Last but not least, this is yet another safety decision you have to make. But in the video, you see his family is suggesting that he was likely forced to drive the gunman to a secondary location, forced to drive at gunpoint. Understand that if somebody jumps on you in one area and forces you to drive to another area, there is likely nothing good going to happen at the secondary area. If you're going to resist, that is the time to do it then. So let's say you're parked at a 7-Eleven where we had a driver killed just the other day in Linwood, and they want you to drive that vehicle from the 7-Eleven that's well lit with people going back and forth somewhere else. It's not going to be well lit with people going back and forth in that secondary location. This is the time to take a stand and get folks to actually at least see what is happening. When they tell you to go somewhere else, it's going to be far more advantageous to what they're trying to do. There may not be a good outcome. Just want to point that out. All situations are not winnable. But if you're in a situation and you only have a choice to, go with the odds, chances are that is the time to take a stand. But in this case, I wanted to point that out because it does appear as if the killer forced the victim to drive him somewhere else. And he ultimately lost his life in the process. These stories are very sad. They're very sad. And I'm going to keep pointing out what I've been pointing out in every damn video before, that Lyft, the spokesperson for Lyft in one of these videos before, stated that safety incidents with Lyft are quote unquote extremely rare. That is the biggest load of bullshit I have ever heard, because I am constantly featuring stories of Lyft drivers getting killed or at the very least carjacked. Sometimes both. It is not extremely rare. It is by no means extremely rare at all. Don't believe it? Simply Google Lyft driver gets killed, or Lyft driver gets carjacked, or Lyft driver gets robbed, and look at all the stories coming up. You can tell me that's extremely rare? A lot of those stories just happened a week or two ago. You're going to tell me that's extremely rare? You think you even get all of the times it happens? This story is from March the 8th, I believe. So we're talking maybe a couple of weeks ago. This is happening to the point where all of the stories are not even making the news right away because it is so common for a rideshare driver to meet a bad ending. Nevertheless, just wanted to point this out to you. It is getting really awful. Do you guys drive in the middle of the night? I know some of my rideshare drivers, my veteran drivers, are certainly doing it because that's the time maybe in your market that you can make more money, particularly on the weekends with the club crowd. I personally don't drive in the wee hours of the morning. It's just the amount of drama from the stories that I've read has really gave me a sour note. I used to do it when I started driving years ago, but certainly once I started covering what happens to us, the overwhelming majority of my stories featuring drivers that lose their lives, it's happening in the wee hours of the morning. This guy here was killed in the wee hours of the morning. So anytime you're driving 10 o'clock and on up, from 10 a.m. to about 5 in the morning, that's when about 4 in the morning, that's when these stories are really happening. Nobody's around. It's much quieter out. You know, you're picking up people in the middle of no damn where. Certainly, like I stated, somebody that looks like me multiplied by 2 or 3 getting in your car at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're just playing the odds at that point. You are playing the odds. What about you folks? Have you had any trips where your instincts went off? If so, what did you do? What was taking place to set off your instincts, to set off red flags in your mind, and how did you respond to it? This is a shame. It's your boy Tim with another video. I'll catch you in the next one. As always, subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate the comments, the participation. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next video.